The first Five Nights at Freddy's was not just a game, it was a spark that set the whole internet on fire. It proved that real horror can hide in silence, heavy darkness, and waiting for the worst. But what do you do when the darkness goes away and the bright light only makes things scarier? What do you do when they take away the only thing that gave you a safe feeling? Your metal doors. When Scott Cawthon announced the second part just a few months after the huge success of the first one, the community was skeptical. People thought, well, this is just a quick cash grab, an attempt to make money on the hype by giving us the same mechanics with new skins. But what we got in the end did not just beat our expectations, it shocked everyone. FNAF 2 did not just repeat that success, it took everything we were used to and broke it without mercy. It made the game bigger, turned the speed up to the max, and changed a simple story about a night guard into a complex, dark, and sad mystery that fans are still trying to solve today. If the first game was about feeling trapped and paranoid, the second one is about pure, unstoppable panic. In this video, we will look closely at Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We will see how the game made us afraid of happy children's music, how it completely changed the rules of survival, and how one small plot twist at the end turned everything upside down. So let's not waste any time. As always, I'm Daniel Stalk, and we are starting. What is Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Five Nights at Freddy's 2 makes everything we loved and hated about the original much bigger, but with a completely different, much more aggressive approach to the player. At first look, the setup seems classic. You are the new night guard named Jeremy Fitzgerald. You sit in the office again, and your job is to survive from 12 am to 6 am. But the devil is the details. This time, the updated Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is having its grand opening. The building is huge, the office is wide open, and instead of the old, dirty robots, the management introduces a new generation, the toy animatronics. They're shiny, have rosy cheeks, and are made of smooth plastic. The manager says they are completely safe, because they are connected to a criminal database and have an advanced face recognition system to protect the children. But where did the old favorites go? No one destroyed them. Broken, damaged, torn to pieces. With no faces or arms, they are just rotting in a dark room called Parts and Service. And as soon as night comes, every single one of them gets activated. Instead of 4 enemies, you now have 11 monsters haunting you. The game no longer gives you time to think or take a breath. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there is only one rule. You either act automatically like a pro gamer, or you die instantly. Gameplay. How FNAF 2 actually works. The best advice for the second part is forget everything you learned before. Scott Cawthon made a brilliant and cruel move. He took away the player's control over the space. There are no doors in the office, none at all. You sit completely unprotected in front of a huge dark hallway, and there are 2 open vent shafts on your sides. Any monster can walk into your room at any second. To avoid becoming lunch for the robots, you have a new, very specific toolset. The Freddy Fazbear mask, your main disguise. The flashlight, your only source of light in the hallway. The camera tablet, which you know mostly need for just one room. How does it work in practice? Since you cannot hide behind the metal doors, your only safety from most animatronics is an empty, smelly Freddy Fazbear head. When a robot suddenly appears right in the middle of your office, the screen starts to flash and you have literally a fraction of a second to put on the mask. Did you make it in time? The robot face recognition system glitches. It stands in an inch from your nose, breathing heavily, and then walks away, thinking you're a robot too. But the mask is not a fix for everything. For example, old Foxy does not care about your costume at all. He knows who you are. To scare these old folks away, you need to flash your light directly into his eyes, over and over, which restarts his system. And here comes a new resource, the flashlight battery. The building itself has infinite power now, but if your flashlight battery dies, you're definitely dead. The music box, your personal nightmare. However, the scariest and the most stressful element of the game is the puppet. It does not walk down the hallways. It sits in the corner of a far room inside a huge gift box. To keep it from coming out, you must constantly use your tablet to wind up its music box from far away. If the Happy Children's melody stops for even a second, the puppet breaks free, the mask does not work on it, and the flashlight will not scare it. If the music box stops, the game is over. The only question is how many seconds it will take to fly into your office with a jump scare. And this mechanic creates a crazy, endless loop of multitasking. For example, flash your light down the hallways, Foxy standing there, light up the left and right vents, quickly open your tablet into the right camera. Hold the button to wind up to the box. Close the tablet and at that exact moment put on the mask because someone might already be standing in your office. Repeat this hundreds of times every night. FNAF 2 does not break the player with a slow, heavy weight like the first game, but with total information overload. You're always moving, your fingers get tired, and your brain melts from the adrenaline. It is pure rhythm horror game, where one mistake in timing costs your life. Graphics, the uncanny valley effect. Visually, the sequel looks completely different from the original. The first game was dirty, rusty, and dark. The second one is bright, colorful, full of neon lights and holiday posters. It seems too normal, and that is exactly what makes it so uncomfortable and scary. The game used the uncanny valley effect at full power. The animatronics, their shiny plastic look, unnaturally big red cheeks, and permanent smiles are scary because they are trying to look cute. Then when Toy Chica takes off her beak and eyes, leaving only black empty holes and sharp metal teeth, it's a pure nightmare. Or Mongol, who turned into a pile of broken metal skeleton parts, crawling on the ceiling and making creepy radio noises. Withered models, a total shocking contrast, huge rusty torn machines from the past. A special in hell goes to Withered Bunny, a giant rabbit with his face completely ripped off. When he stands in front of you and two small red glowing dots look at you from his empty head in total darkness, it is one of the scariest images in the video game history. The open office, yes, the lights work. Everything is clean. But when the shape of Foxy appears jumping at you from the end of the long dark hallway, you realize bright light does not save you. It just makes you a perfect target. Pure panic. How the sound works. While the first game taught us to listen to the silence, the sound in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a pure anxiety generator. There is always a constant noise that puts pressure on your mind. In the vents, you can hear a heavy, dull metallic thumping sound, showing that a monster is getting closer. The flashlight clicks with an annoying echo. One guy talks too fast and sounds nervous in your ear. The worst sound in the game is your own breathing. When you put on the Freddy mask in the panic, the rest of the world goes quiet. You only hear the main character breathing heavily, loudly, and fearfully inside a tight plastic space. You can literally hear his heartbeat, and in the background, like timer on a bomb, The music box speeds up with its mocking melody. Pop goes the whistle. The sound does not let you relax for a second, pushing the player into a corner. Lore, secrets, and 8-bit nightmares. This is where Five Nights at Freddy's 2 did something nobody expected. While playing, players were surely this was a sequel and continuation of the story. But wait, Fawn High, who definitely died in the first part, is alive and well here. And when we get our paycheck at the end of the 6th night, the date says November of 1987. Boom! Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a prequel. The game takes place years before the first part, during the times of the famous and mysterious bite of 87. From that moment on, the story of the franchise stopped being just a local urban legend from newspapers clips, and turned it into a huge worldwide detective mystery. Scott Cawthon added death minigames to the game. After losing randomly, a player could end up in a strange 8-bit teens that look like old Atari consoles, controlling simple pixel and animatronics without terrible things, the first murders of children. In these strange mini-games we saw him for the first time, the purple guy, a serial killer, pure evil made of flesh and blood, who's behind all the tragedies of the franchise. This is where we learned that the puppet is not just a haunted doll, but the very first victim who gave life to the other murdered children by putting their souls into the robot suits. This storytelling blew up the internet. Scott showed everyone a brilliant trick, how to hide the creepiest and the deepest parts of the lore where people least expected them to find. Final thoughts. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a perfect textbook sequel. It did not take the safe, easy road. It risked everything by completely changing the gameplay mechanics that made the original popular. It taught us to think and react at the speed of light. It made adult gamers shake from the sound of a children's toy. It proved that deep lore can be told without fancy cutscenes, using only simple 8-bit graphics. If the first game just locked us in a room with monsters, the second part took those damn doors off their hinges and said, now look them straight in the eyes. Which part of these first two games do you like more? The slow paranoid first one or the fast and chaotic second one? Make sure to write in the comments, I will read every single opinion. Thank you for watching this deep dive until the end. You're absolute legends. Support the video with a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new horror breakdowns, and remember, never forget to wind the music box, or it will come for you.